No, not yet.
Not yet.
Mike, speaking to yours?
Mike, speak.
Hello.
Hello.
Speaking to yours? All right, we're good.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan. Can we try Forza Milan? Forza Milan. Forza Milan. Okay. Are we on?
Yes. We're on.
Oh, wow.
Look at the smile. He's so happy. 2025 might be your year, Anto.
That's right, man. We're starting the first year on the right note.
Yeah.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Right, Mike? Do you like this?
Yeah.
Na 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 na.
He's trying to sing the Juventus song for everyone.
Na 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 na.
Let's just skip
we
to
no
the main
lose,
part.
guys. We're gonna get the song anyway. All right.
Win or
That's
lose,
the
the-
beauty. You know what? I miss being a Juventus fan because
You're a
win or
Juventus
lose.
fan?
No, I mean I wish.
You used to be?
No, I wish I would be a Juventus fan because win or lose, you get the song and you go home happy.
You think happy too?
Even with the Thiago, with the tie, you can still go and
Today
get
we
the
didn't
song.
even get the tie.
Oh my God, I
missed
feel
the
bad.
tie.
I feel bad.
I think the person that's happy the most is this guy over here.
Yeah,
He's
because-
smiling the entire
because
time.
it's gonna win,
he didn't
right?
care.
You didn't
Yeah,
care
he's
what's going
Either
on
was
with the
watching
derby.
that game like, all right, let these two
he's
losers
winning
come
the
and play us
derby.
on
He's
Monday.
winning the derby.
Hey, you need a little bit of revenge. You won the last derby, but you don't have Fonseca.
We won with the
It's
first.
a new music for you.
We
buddy.
won for the first Portuguese, and we're gonna win with the second Portuguese.
I don't think
You
so.
have a problem with Portuguese, I'm telling you. We're gonna win the derby too.
You feel good about Monday.
That's right.
You already feel good.
I feel good.
Anto, what do you
Alright.
think the difference would have been if
Mike,
Fonseca
you know the
was still in
song.
charge?
I feel
though?
good. Na
Yeah.
na 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 na.
What do you
na,
think if
What?
Fonseca was in charge? You think it would have been the same result?
Yeah, pretty much.
So why don't we break it down? Let's talk about Milan, Juventus. Conceicao had about 4 days to prepare for this game. He was put in a tough position, but first half very tough for Milan. I didn't see anything. I mean, they didn't even have a shot on target for a lot of this game. And the second half, a little bit of character, good spirit. Were you happy with what you saw? You came back and won. Is the big deflection for the first goal and the penalty kick for the second goal, I should say.
Yes, very much. But I think on the first half, I mean, the new squad, the squad, the AC Milan squad is trying to impress the coach and they're trying to carve their, their place and then get in the mind of this new coach something positive to build on. I was surprised that he didn't start Gabbia on the first half because Gabbia is much better than Tomori for me, not by little, by far. But other than that, I mean, the formation was not a surprise for me. And it didn't change much. I guess he played 4-3-3. But other
Which
than
is
that,
funny because Fonseca kept saying that you can't play 4-3-3.
Yes, you can.
You remember when he had that conversation with Boban on Sky? He said, no, this team's not built to play three-man midfield. Maybe Benacer came back, but Benacer looked still off from the injury.
Not that off. I mean, he needs time to get back into gears. But hey, I think he's doing his job. I mean, he did a few mistakes. He made a few mistakes, but other than that, I think the three-man midfield is solidifies even
I agree
the
it's
team
better.
playing defense and cover a little bit better.
I agree. I mean, I don't know how much we could take away from this. It's still just the first game, but I do like the way that Conceicao's come in. He's very different than Fonseca. Very different. You can see he's not trying to be friends with any of the players. He's tried to give them a spark. He's tried to give an attitude and a mentality. Even the way that they play the style of play, it's a lot less possession football. And again, he only had a couple days to coach, so you're not going to see tactically a lot of things. But what you're going to see is a fight. And he said in the first half, they didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to what I wanted. And in the second half is where I showed it. And he even mentioned, I'm not going to go and kiss my players and make them too excited. They're my players. They're not my friends. I'm not looking to make new friends. They have to do exactly what I said. And I think this little bit of tough love is something that maybe Milan has been missing and is the fire that they need, because certainly there's a lot of quality within the squad, but sometimes the spirit and the attitude is not there.
Well, listen, I agree with that because, I mean, Fonseca, listen, me personally, I liked Fonseca a lot, but it is what it is. He got the short end of the stick because he got very unlucky for several games. And it was just, put it on the side, even though it wasn't done the right way. But Ibrahimovic, Zlatan, as a gentleman, he actually apologized because they let him know just right after the press conference. But other than that, I think that the business is business. You're not there to coach and to be friends with anybody. You can be friends outside, but on the field, you're doing your job. So you get paid. The uniform is very, very heavy to wear. I mean, you have history behind the uniform, and you have to just honor the uniforms that you're wearing. And other than that, I think for this guy here, he's feeling the pressure as well, Conceicao. So I was a little bit disappointed not to see Son on the first game because, other than that, we made a a little tricky,
We or you?
funny things. I mean, Peter Curl, the way my radio says on my phone says on the radio, Curl, he gave me an idea that we're gonna have a Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit today was Gatti. Gatti did the job. He played as a real champion. He's my favorite guy.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let's just say, Conceicao, he got injured in the warm up. Let's say you were a coach and your son, and you were there. You score against your father. Would you go and celebrate?
Of course.
What would you do?
You celebrate as it's your goal. It's not against your father. It's your goal. You
Anto, what about you? You're going up against your father. You score a goal. What do you do? He's on the other bench.
I would say, Dad, yeah, Dad.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy now?
Mike, what would you do? You're a very respectful person. You don't like to go too
Grab
much.
the phone and take a selfie with him.
All right, we interrupt this podcast. We have a word from our sponsor.
Boom.
It is called Italian Football TV, and it's these jackets, these beautiful jackets that we're wearing.
Calcio.
On the last podcast, everyone went crazy for them when we did this. So we still have a couple of left. I don't know, Mike, if you remember the size.
The white, we have like 2 sizes left. For blue, we still have them, a few on all of them. So guys, get them out because the past few days, ever since we've been doing the holiday season's been ending, it's been flying off the shelves, honestly.
And we went so hard with the quantity that we got for these. We really tried to expand this. You guys know we're taking it serious. We have new stuff that's coming really soon. It takes so many months to get everything down to perfection because we want you to enjoy it. And the amount of people that have been emailing us and saying how happy they were or waking up on Christmas morning and getting them. But you still have a chance to get them white. Very few. Blue, if you want it. We're never going to restock this. ItalianFootballTV.com.
Guys.
Got hats coming on the way as
Yeah,
well.
we have some beanies. Check it out now, guys.
Beanies too. That's right.
Very
few for the
beanies.
Very
Listen.
few beanies left because we're getting emails on those saying, "Do you have my size?" No, we're sold out, so they gotta get.
All
them
right,
now.
listen. A couple people they stopped me. They thought that I went to Italy and I went to buy this thing here from Italy. No, guys, this is not from Italy. This is Italian Football TV, and this is USA. Brooklyn, made in Brooklyn, USA. Okay.
Well, not really, but okay.
So, but hey, it is what it is.
Anto's making them in the back, right?
That's right. That's
You
right.
trust me, you don't want the ones that Antonio would make.
they're
The
upside
stitching
down.
will be everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't want it. Just go to
Okay.
ItalianFootballTV.com if you want yours.
Don't get caught with just waiting a couple more days because you're not gonna find them. So just get it now, and then don't say that I never said that. Okay?
That's right.
Get it now. All right.
Let's go back to the podcast.
I just feel like overall that game, you can't judge Milan on that. That game could have went either way. At the end of the day, I think this game says more about Juventus because we've said a countless amount of times with Motta starting the game off pretty well and not being able to close the games have really hurt him. And this is just another added to the list of another thing. So do we talk about Motta now a little bit, saying it's getting repetitive and how much time not saying how much time we give him, but saying when are we going to start seeing the results and how Motta's team's supposed to play?
People online are Juventus fans are really upset looking at the reaction. And some of them are saying, should Juventus sack Thiago Motta at this point? He hasn't gotten the results that the team wants. They are not competitive, obviously, in the league. And it's once again a lack of character within the squad and not being able to maintain a lead. We've seen this many times, even when they're in control of games, because they were in control of that first half. They allow teams to come back in because they're not capable of scoring the second goal. Now, what you have to analyze is, what is it? Is it Thiago Motta not giving the spirit? Is it the lack of the attacking presence? Is it the team being young? Or does this come down to the coach, and is he at fault?
Nah, he has a part in this because let's look at the game with you take out Vlahovic and you put in Nico Gonzalez when the game is only 1-0.
That was shocking.
You can't consider this game all done and dusted because at any moment, the game could flip on its head. This is not a secure Juventus team. They've done it against Venezia. They've done it against so many teams, Fiorentina. So this is not a team that you say, okay, with 1-0, I can lock up the back. It's not the case. I think also he's at times tries to be too cute. I understand it's great to see the young players come in, but if Nico Gonzalez is healthy, why is Nico Gonzalez not playing with Vlahovic? Yeah. Why aren't you going out there with your best squad? Douglas Luiz is still a question mark, and Juventus spent a lot of money on him.
Is he a question mark, or do we know that he's just not good enough?
I don't think he's not good enough. Come on, if you're playing with Aston Villa, Come on, Margo.
He had one good
he's
season
not
with Aston Villa.
Okay, but still,
What has he shown at Juventus so far?
No, so far Juventus 0. But you spend money.
Yeah,
You
have
spend
you
money
seen what
on
he
him.
done when he came in?
You have
Is
to
the
give it up.
Two penalty kicks.
Come on.
Come on.
Calcio of Juventus? You
I
have
don't
to
think
just
so.
wait on him.
I don't see
I
anything
think-
with Douglas Luiz.
I think there's a lot of issues. And then the second, Vlahovic is not the Thiago Motta type 9. That's the reality of it. He wants somebody who's going to be able to be good with the ball in his feet, is going to come back, is going to hold up the play. And Vlahovic, for some reason, is not that. He's a target striker, and he'll score you the 25 goals, but he's not going to do much more to serve Thiago Motta's game.
He's
You know
a
what's
poacher.
interesting?
They
Everybody-
gotta go
Poacher.
after
Poacher.
another-
Poacher.
what's
What does that mean,
interesting-
poacher? Steals and boom.
No, he doesn't. Other than scoring goals, he doesn't drop back, and he doesn't. Other than scoring goals, that's pretty much what he does.
So he
No,
does
he's not gonna
something.
go
He does
around
something
and-
illegal. Poaching means.
No, but in football it's different.
All right, no
Football
English
is different.
language lesson today.
Okay,
It's,
let
it's
me
funny
just say
because
something,
Lautaro
Marco.
Martinez is somebody that hasn't been scoring a lot of goals, but you see Lautaro Martinez, even when he doesn't score goals, the guy actually helps the team play really good football. He drops in, he turns his man, he does a lot of things right. I'm not saying that he's on a great form, but he does offer that. And Dusan Vlahovic is one of those head scratchers because you could see the quality that he has, but he's not showing it every game. And there's something truly missing in his game to reach the level that he's supposed to be at, to reach the level that Juventus paid the fee on. And he's gone through now. It's the second manager. We kept saying, oh, this is the season. This is the one. All right, Allegri played a very defensive-minded a squad. And I think it doesn't help him that he doesn't have a backup. He has no competition within the squad. No matter what, we know every single week the number 9 for Juventus is going to be Dusan Vlahovic because Milik has been injured. Even Nico Gonzalez was not
No
really full number
competition
9.
for him to
What?
fight for a spot.
He's not a true 9.
Listen,
He's not.
To
Can't
be
be
honest
that.
with you,
Doesn't help.
I saw just the writing on the wall when the substitution was asked for Vlahovic. Vlahovic is not. I mean, he's your most important player. It is the one that can make a difference for you. When Thiago Motta calls him out because you're subbing him, that's a big disappointment. I mean, the writing is on the wall. This guy here is probably on the chopping block. I think they want to monetize. I think personally they're going to monetize him now before actually his value goes even down further during the second half of the season because this guy is a mess.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
How are you
something.
gonna get rid of him? You have
Let
no
me
nine.
tell you something. The other big flop is Cup Minor.
Yeah.
Cup Minor is not what I remember. At Atalanta, Cup Minor was all over the place. Cup Minor, you needed 3 people to stop this guy
So whose
here.
fault is it?
I don't know.
Is
It's
it
the
is it that he
position.
was just good at Atalanta or...
Cup Minor is being played too far back. Cup Minor needs to be top. It's 3/4 and up. This guy's been. He comes all. It's just box to box. I don't need Cup Minor to be box to box. I need the defense to do the job.
The reason why Cup Miners were so good at Atalanta was the late runs in. It was
Yes.
those late runs into the box, and he was an amazing finisher when he was 1v1 in the goal. That's why he had so many great goals. He was not this incredible technical midfielder that could break through from midfield to the attack. He was somebody that was really good playing off of the strikers that he had in that system of Atalanta. And that could be said about a lot of the Juventus signings so far. And Giuntoli definitely has a big place to play in the Juventus results right now. The team was not built proper, and we're talking about a midfield having problems. You spent $50 million on Douglas Luiz, and you still have a midfield problem.
50?
50, yeah. You spent another 55 million on Cup Miners.
My God.
You still got another problem there. They're not clicking. So and then you didn't go with the number 9. And then you look defensively what's happening. And then even with Danilo, what they're doing with Danilo now is very strange. They're
I will take Danilo at AC
shipping
Milan.
Danilo out, who was the
I will
captain
take
of the
him.
team. You're doing this midway through the season. For me, there's something weird going on.
Can
as
we
well
do
there.
1-1? I'll give you Tomori, you give me Danilo.
Conceicao likes Tomori.
I will take Danilo. I don't know.
Juventus's next games too, as well. I had it written down here: Torino, Atalanta, Milan, and Napoli. So it doesn't get much easier for them. I will say though, for me, Juventus. I listened to what Thiago Motta said after the game as well. He said Milan had very few chances, and you can't lose a game where you concede that few of chances. And I do agree with him because when you look at the goals, the penalty kick, Locatelli makes a mistake in making the tackle. I think even Locatelli admitted that he made a mistake when he made the tackle. And then the second goal where Musa takes a shot and then it deflects over Gatti, cross, whatever. Deflects over Gatti and Di Gregorio is so far away from the net. So they get these 2 goals, and it's kind of hard to say, but it's a bad way to lose in this competition. You went all the way to Saudi Arabia. You're going up against a Milan that was already struggling, that has a new coach. Winning could have done something really important for this team, and it almost hurts double for the squad that they went all the way there and then they lose in the manner that they lost.
And it's all about timing too. For most of the times, you could have just shrugged this off for Juventus and be like, well, it happened. But now it's been consecutive games with Motta, and there's a lot of question marks around them, which amplifies everything, which makes the atmosphere a little bit more stressful for everybody.
So how do we see this final on Monday going? Inter with flying colors against Atalanta. If we take a second to talk about them, and Atalanta that heavily rotated Gasperini. It was kind of surprising how many players. No CDK, no Lookman, no Ederson, no
He
Pasha,
put them in on the second.
no Bellanova.
They came
Yeah,
in.
but when they were down 1-0. Maybe he was trying to wait and try to keep it tight, but the fact that he's lost 7 in a row against Inter and he's unbeaten, he hasn't beaten them in 14 matches. Inzaghi absolutely has his number, and they sort of fell into the same exact problems as always. So Inter, even without needing to overdo themselves, pretty much did enough to get past Atalanta, and they even with a great Carnesecchi performance that could have been more, I think, for you guys. How do you feel going into this match against Milan, who they beat you the last derby, which is one of the few losses that you have on this last year or two?
Listen, it was the first one that in 4 years? How many years since Milan beat Inter? So it was coming. It was the time.
I think it was like 6, right, in a row at that time.
Let him talk.
They don't even let you celebrate today's
him
win.
talk. Let him talk. It's
There's
all
been a
right.
few words from both
They worried.
teams, right?
Oh,
about
between Marotta and Cardinale.
So it's definitely building up for a good game.
Why don't
and
we
I think-
remind people of what they said?
Well, Cardinale was attacking Inter for no reason, saying how certain teams win, but they don't win with the right numbers, I guess, with that. Meanwhile, I guess for Cardinale, he just wants to profit a lot of money and doesn't care about the AC Milan fans to win anything. So, that's what it comes down to. And Marotta made it a point to let everyone know that there's only one team in Milano with 2 stars. And
He showed Zlatan that too, right?
And that we were able to.
What do you mean with
we
2
were able
stars?
to win.
What's 2 stars?
We were able to win against AC Milan,
What's
if
2
we don't
stars?
forget last year. So a lot of nice
Not 2
things
stars.
happening leading up to this game.
It actually
and I
builds
think
for a good rivalry.
and I think Inter,
Not enough.
even versus Atalanta, we played a great game, but we have to be able to score. So I hope Lautaro finds the back of the net a couple of times.
The
versus AC
backside or the, on
Milan,
the other
and be able
outside?
to
The
be
back
able
of the net.
to bring this SuperCoppa home. Since Inzaghi is Mr. SuperCoppa, right? I think in
Oh,
6.
they call him Mr.
That's
Super
true.
Copa.
He's won it
He's
5
won
times.
in 5.
No
That's
coach
how
has
it's
won
played
more.
over there.
And this is his 6th
Yeah.
to go. So
Wow.
It's 4 in a row for him
Wow.
with Inter. He's an absolute master in these finals, and it's interesting to see the way
Master?
that. Yeah, he is. I know where you're gonna
I was
go.
about to
This
say.
guy is bad. This guy is bad. So it really makes for a great final on Monday. And you think about some of the conversations around Milan in the past couple of weeks, right? With Fonseca, and I think rightfully so, even questioning the players. Everybody's pointing fingers in so many different directions. And now you beat Juventus, and I don't think that it was a great performance. It was a good show of character. But can you imagine if you win this next game where you win a SuperCoppa, you lift a trophy, you're going to go on and beat your 2 biggest rivals. You beat Juventus, and then you go on and beat Inter. The momentum that can shift in this season for Milan would be instrumental, especially for Conceicao. There's no better way, and you're 1 game away. Yes, it's against a great opponent, but it's also against an opponent that you understand how you have to beat them, and probably Conceicao's style of football will align with what Fonseca tried to do against Inter the last time, which was successful. Anytime that you try to play so high up against Inter, I think that you really hurt yourself. When you can lean into some of your strengths, you can find success.
Funny, you mentioned before Allegri when you were talking about Juventus.
I don't think I mentioned
No,
Allegri.
Yes, you did. The
I
loss.
don't think I said Allegri.
The
We didn't even
loss,
talk
the
about
style.
Juventus.
No,
Yeah.
the style.
We didn't
Okay,
say
AC
that.
Milan,
Allegri.
AC Milan is kind of now playing Allegri style. Just wait a little bit, not to go all the way to the top, and do not allow Inzaghi to just, play on a counter.
Overexposed.
So what we're gonna do? We're just gonna
What are we going to
we're gonna wait. When you win, you lose, you lose. For us, it's not an important trophy. For us, it's like a training just to.
You're there for attendance only.
Yeah,
right?
just that's attendance only, and then to promote the AC Milan
Yeah,
away
just
from,
for
from
some
San Siro.
context, Antonio before the game said he did not care about this match. He's nobody cares. And then he celebrated like I've never seen before at both of the Milan goals, at the penalty kick and then
never
the
did
own
that.
goal.
He seemed pretty quiet to me.
And he's singing the Juventus
Even
anthem on
pushed Mr.
Instagram.
Producer on the floor.
Mr. Producer is still
Mr.
bleeding.
Producer snapped his kneecaps.
Antonio trampled on top of
I
him.
didn't trample him. You trampled
So
him.
prediction for Monday.
I will say Decken is going to go to. Is this overtime or just straight to penalty?
Penalties.
He's going to go to penalty kick,
And
and then AC Milan is going to win.
That's what I was looking for. I was just looking for an answer.
Okay, right here. What do you say, Mike?
In these special finals, sometimes the better team doesn't always win. So I'm gonna go with Milan 1-0.
Oh, would you pay him?
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
He's so happy.
That's it. 2-0 Inter.
All right. 2-0 Inter.
2-1 Inter.
2-1 Inter.
Inter will win.
Anybody else? Alessandro, what do you say?
In the finals, it's,
Say it.
in the
No,
finals,
we
it's
have a
very
bunch
tough.
of friends over here. What do you say? Just say it. 2-1 Inter.
We got 1 Inter, 1 Milan,
1-1 PKs. Amenu?
4-0
Milan.
Inter,
Oh, Inter.
and last one.
1-1 PK.
And-
PK. Who's PK?
But no. But who wins?
Who wins?
Peter Curto.
Milan.
Okay, so we're tied 2-2.
Split.
We're all split. We're completely split.
split.
So it's a 50-50 final. I got a couple other topics before we go because we're recording this in between the season that's going to be on
Serie
the
A
weekend.
and,
Yeah, some of the Serie A games.
SuperCoppa.
But there's other topics that we're going around. And Arsenal have been in need of a striker, of a number 9. They've been desperate.
I got
So
Vlahovic.
many of their games that they've been playing, they are lacking the clinical, proper number 9. And the reports are they want to get Serie A top goal scorer Matteo Retegui, who's got 12 goals. He's injured right now, but he's got 12 goals this season. I want to know from you, do you think that this would be a good move, first of all, from Arsenal? Should they go for Retegui? But then at the same time, I'm looking at the fees, which is 55 million, and I say, should Atalanta sell and make 30 million profit in 5 months?
I would. It's a smart move. Take the money. You have Scamacca coming back in. Retegui is a clinical, nasty guy when he's on the box. But nevertheless, you don't say no to $55 million. Hey, $55 million is a lot of money. You can shop for another player. You can get somebody like, I don't know, Sesko or whatever. You get so many freaking top of the line players over there. $55 million, that's a lot of money. I would just... why don't you guys offer Ibra? I mean, what's his name? Vlahovic. Miguel, what's up? Say, I would just get for
Talking about
Vlahovic.
Retegui.
I know, but Retegui,
Vlahovic has nothing
Vlahovic,
to do with this.
it's a forward.
But the rumor is that Arsenal are going to offer 55 million for Retegui, not Vlahovic.
But
they don't want Vlahovic.
get 45 million for Vlahovic and you sell it.
Mike,
You're
on the topic.
negotiator. This is tough because Retegui is a starter for the national team, and the last time a starter for the national team went to Premier League, Chiesa, he's about to leave in January because he hasn't gotten playing time. I think that's a big thing because if Retegui for some reason doesn't find form the first few games, these Premier League teams, they're pretty ruthless. They'll put you on the bench. They don't care. And I think that's something to talk about. But just strictly on Atalanta's point of view, it's hard to reject that kind of money,
That's right.
especially if you're Atalanta.
But then you're going to sell your number 1 goal scorer in January when you're competing on
Champions.
still three different competitions.
Maybe they think Scamacca knew he's going to be back sooner than expected. Who knows?
I think if they do that, then
It's hard,
They're
yeah.
not worried. They're not
They're not
going
thinking about
for
the
Serie
season.
A,
They're not
they're
thinking
going
about
for
Campionato.
Champions League, because not so much that they're not able to deal without him, but more so if you want to win something, you have to be well equipped. That's, I think, the beauty of this Atalanta team, compared to years past is, at any moment he can put on 3 guys that would be starters anywhere else in Serie A. And I mean, even for Inter Milan Juve, okay? So you're able to have guys that can easily rotate. You can play so many different ways. You need to keep Retegui if you want to push for Serie A, for Campionato, and if you want to be far.
Who makes 30 million in
Champions League.
5 months?
I get it.
Can
but
you go and get
but they're
a
a
different
healthy,
player?
But they're a healthy team. And trust me, Retegui, you think you're gonna get 55 million now, but he's gonna go for 55 million this summer as well. So at that point, what are you worried about?
Yeah.
Keep him if you're desperate for money, sure. But guess what? Number 9s are very hard to come by, and there'll be a lot of offers for a number 9, especially in June.
So you are against.
Yeah,
I'm
you can-
against it. Yeah, business wise, it's great. But then if you're gonna go buy Sesko, what are you gaining? 15 million at that point. You gotta go with who you have already, guaranteed, ready to go. If you're serious about winning something.
Fair enough. Another guy that's on the move, Mohamed Salah. He's had a contract problems with Liverpool for a long time. He came out today saying that it's going to be his last year at Liverpool because they still haven't agreed a contract at this point.
Apparently.
And I'm wondering, he did say that.
He did say that, but that could be transfer talk just for.
But he said at this point he could sign for another team now.
Oh, 100%.
It's January.
Yeah,
What,
but
once
that could also
February?
be a tactic, just like we see in the past. You know?
Listen.
Anyway, Mohamed Salah came out saying that it is his last year at Liverpool. He's got no offer from Liverpool from them to stay at this club. Should a Serie A team make a move? Should he make a return to Roma, for example, or another team? We can make a case for each Serie A squad.
AC Milan
He's-
can use Salah.
You want everybody.
Jeez.
I mean, Inter takes everything. I mean,
Pulisic plays there. Huh?
no.
On the right.
Salah plays on the right. Pulisic plays right behind the strikers. It's number 10.
But if you're playing it 4-3-3, how are you playing it?
I put Pulisic over there, Salah on the right, and I put Leao on the left. That's all. English.
This guy's playing FIFA over here.
I think Juventus could use him.
Yeah,
They
of
need a
course.
winger who could beat their man.
You guys can use
They-
a lot of players.
I'm telling you, I think
guys
Liverpool.
like
I think
dreaming.
Liverpool's making a big mistake if they don't keep Mohamed
They're
Salah.
gonna keep
He is getting better in his 30s. I mean, he's so clinical. He's so important for them, especially if they go on and win the Premier League, which they look like they're going to go on and win the Prem. He said that they care more about that. He cares more about that than they do the Champions League. I would take Salah in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's the best player in the
Thiago
world
Motta's
right now.
system. It will be perfect.
But the thing with him is he's gonna go for more money. Is a Serie A team gonna offer more than what he's already getting at Liverpool, and he wants even more
Well,
on
he's
top
got
of
nothing.
that?
He's got nothing.
I would say.
He's got nothing. He's a free agent.
You don't think
next season.
Liverpool wouldn't splash the cash?
Listen,
Clearly
maybe-
they're not.
I think it's
You know,
not.
I think-
it's mind game, so he
Do
can
you do
continue this form.
Yeah, but do you play mind games with your best player?
who else
Listen.
would realistically get him in Europe?
Listen,
I'm saying for Liverpool.
I got
We're
it.
talking
I got
about
news
Liverpool.
for you. I got
For them,
news
why
for
would you
you.
play mind games with your best player?
Because he's doing so well right now.
Mikey.
So that's
They
the
don't-
opposite. You
they
should
don't-
do the opposite.
They don't want to ruin his.
Mike
his
is
streak.
right. Marco, Mike is right. And I'll tell you the
I don't-
reasons
I
why.
don't agree with that at
He's
all.
right. I'll tell you the reasons why. What they're trying to do now, they wanted to see if anybody comes from the woodwork and things like that. They said, hey, Salah is for sale. You just said it, all right? Then AC Milan says, hey, I'll spend 60 million for Salah. Then Inter says, no, I'll spend 70.
He's a free agent.
Free agent.
He
Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
need any transfer fee.
He doesn't need any
No,
transfer
there's no
fee.
transfer fee. He only have to pay the salary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But don't they have a clause that is...
No, there's no clause.
He has time. He has months.
No.
No,
There's no
February
clauses.
he could sign.
Yes, he could sign for a team.
He said okay, but he also said he wants to win the. He's not going to leave mid-season.
No,
Regardless of
nobody's
anything.
saying he's leaving
Mid-season, but he can
mid-season.
sign for a new
At the
club
end of the
next
year.
February.
Yeah, exactly.
Free
So
agent.
Liverpool has months to
No.
figure
But he
this
could
out.
sign in February.
I know, but he's not going to go.
What are you talking about?
In February, he could sign for the next year.
You're saying the season
Yeah.
after?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He has time
if you're
to
free,
do
if you're a
it.
free agent come June, then in February you could sign a contract with another team. You're free to.
Yeah, but he's gonna
For that following
he's
season.
gonna win the season. He's gonna win the season until June, and then from there they're gonna figure
Salah
it out.
is
He's
not
not gonna
coming
go
to Serie
to.
A. It's not coming to
I would
Serie A.
love for him to go to Serie A. Roma would be a nice little romantic thing to
How
go
old
back,
is he?
but it's gonna be too hard.
How old is Salah?
Where would you put him?
33?
Where to go?
32?
Yeah.
Should go back to Fiorentina.
How old is Salah? Is that 32?
I'm
Keep
checking.
asking the same
I'm
question. He's
checking.
looking it up.
Oh, Mike, thanks.
Yeah, let him
Sorry,
say what he
Pete.
thinks first.
Sorry.
32.
32. I figured that.
This guy. What do you think?
Go back to Fiorentina with Palladino, nice winger there instead of Colpani. I'm sorry, Colpani.
Listen, Juventus
You
can
dream
use
big,
Salah.
Pete.
Yeah, that's
You dream real big.
Rocco's got the money. Come on.
He
And
does
then
say that he
from
loves
Fiorentina to
Italy.
Juventus because all the best Fiorentina's players they go to
That's good
Juventus.
business.
That's like a triangulation.
Triangulation.
Liverpool, Fiorentina, Juventus.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Don't get lost. Another player that we got to talk about for Atalanta. They didn't play a great game against Inter. I think who played great. Ederson was really good when he came in. But the man that's been impressing me lately is Carnesecchi, and he's not called up for the Italian national team. For me, Gigio Donnarumma is still Italy's number one, but Carnesecchi is absolutely doing everything to be number two and to be called up
Over
from Spalletti.
over Di Gregorio number 2.
Over Meret number one.
Oh, yeah,
Number
we
one.
know that
No,
already.
we don't know that because Meret is the one that's starting after Spalletti
I'm saying we
after
talked about this in another
Donnarumma.
podcast.
So for me, not calling up Carnesecchi is crazy. Some of the saves that he's making at his young age, he needs to start getting experience with the national team.
Isn't it funny how we're just making all this commotion for him to be number 2? It was like, yeah, if something else going on, he
But
should
listen,
definitely play.
for me, the only question that I have about Carnesecchi is his size. It's not really a dominating goalkeeper.
about?
He's
He's
huge.
What
so
is he,
tall.
6'2", 6'3"? What is he? That's
Let me
tall.
check.
Here, bro, he's
I'm
gonna
looking at-
ask the same
yeah,
question in 15
Donnarumma.
minutes.
Donnarumma.
Donnarumma is 6'6", but not everybody's 6'6".
De Gregorio is not a short dude too. De Gregorio is probably 6'4", 6'5". So
He's
Okay.
6'4", 6'4".
Carnesecchi 6'4".
Carnesecchi.
6'4"?
Yeah.
That's big. I take it back, guys. It looks too small to
gotta
me.
He looks
And
small.
Donnarumma's uninstaller. That's
You think he looks small? I think
huge.
Carnesecchi
He's a
looks
little
dominating.
thin, but
Yeah, I like him a
I
lot.
I like him.
You just said he was too short.
I thought that he was a little smaller than, I think, around 6'1", 6'2".
No.
I don't know. Maybe the
Yeah,
TV.
no, I think
Mike, we need a better
we
TV
need a bigger
here.
TV.
just his footwork needs to
Mr.
work.
Producer,
His
that TV
distribution.
really doesn't give us the sense of the dimension of
That's
the
the
actual
problem.
player. With a bigger TV.
There was a crazy stat that we saw in around the leagues that in Italy there's 16 coaches that are Italian out of 20. 16. At the beginning of the season it was 17. When you compare that with Premier League, they have 2 English coaches in their campionato, in their league, and we have more than anybody else. Why do you think that is?
They don't have enough brain like we have in Italy.
In
We're the
Italian.
best. We're the best.
There's something really ironic about saying that we have more brain and then the amount of mistakes and mishaps that were said in this podcast.
What are you talking about? There's no mistakes
Oh,
here.
the Coverciano, the school.
We
the
have
Italian school is
one
of the
we have a
best.
tradition.
That's
We have
true.
Even
traditions.
internationally, look at what Conte has been able to do in England. Sarri,
Listen,
Ancelotti.
don't count Saki's
De
out.
Zerbi.
Saki's out.
Maresca flipped this
Capello
Chelsea
is
team.
out. Hey,
So we even have some of our best out. They're exported out. So
It's kind of funny. No one would ever think about hiring an English coach, but you see like an Italian coach goes
But there's
everywhere
not,
around
there's
the
not
world.
also in terms of availability compared to an Italian a good Italian coach and a good English coach. The ratio is not only higher for Italian coach for being better, but also in terms of availability.
What do you mean?
There's more
do you mean by
available Italian
availability?
coaches than there are English coaches. I
Because
would
there's
say.
just more quality.
I'm saying there's 2 factors to that. One, there's more quality, but one, there's also just more ratio.
I think we just don't know about them.
But I'm saying
Like Wayne Rooney just got sacked in
a
second
higher,
division,
in a higher level.
but that's why they're there is because they're better.
But there's also
No,
I'm not disagreeing.
because there's clearly more money in England in Championship. You look at some of the teams how much they make. So
even in
technically-
championship, they have a lot of
Foreign?
Spanish coaches and
Portuguese coaches. But so like you think to yourself, oh, it should trickle down and it should be more. And I was even watching to speak about Portuguese coaches because they are dominating. I mean, even in Italy, you look at Milan having 2 back-to-back Portuguese coaches. I was watching Wolves, Manchester United, both coaches Portuguese.
yeah.
And then the amount of Portuguese players that were on the fit. Bruno Fernandes took a shot and it was saved by a Portuguese goalkeeper on Wolves. So
That's
you see
crazy.
their footballing schools are so far ahead. But it is surprising when you think about, like I mentioned, the amount of money and exposure the Premier League has. You wouldn't think that it would only be 2 coaches. But Southgate is maybe the only English coach that you could look
But
at and
that's what
say
I'm
he's
saying.
had
Who else?
some success.
Who else is there? If you look at successful English coaches right now, who's,
Lampard tried, but
Yeah,
nobody would really
exactly.
take him.
well, Graham Potter.
Potter, yeah, true. Graham
He
Potter.
got screwed in Chelsea. So if he gets back into Premier League, he would be interesting. I think he just went to the wrong team at the wrong time. But again, Maresca, look what he's been able to do. So
yeah.
when it comes to England, I think there's more money, so sometimes they can get caught up by the big name coaches because they can go after
They
and
can
spend
afford
it.
it,
The
yeah.
Italian teams, they're not going to be able to. Like Lazio is not going to be able to go and get the big. So you know what? Hey,
Like who?
come
Like
over
who?
here.
The big name coach. Like who? What are you talking about? What
I'm
kind of a
just getting
coach you talking
offended.
about?
Like Fonseca.
I think he's messing with you, Anto.
Listen, the top we have him in Italy only. End of the story.
But
Don't forget. Listen, don't forget. I'm letting me make you the list of few that come to my mind. Zola is not coaching anymore. Capello is not coaching anymore. Sacchi is not coaching
Pirlo.
anymore. Well, this is just 3 that they had
Name
an
4.
history. Okay,
Name the fourth one.
Give him a 4th.
the 4th one, the one that I won with Chelsea. I forgot his name. The Champions
Matteo.
League. Di Matteo.
This
That's the 4th. Okay.
Give me
Why are
5.
you laughing about
Give me
it?
5.
Why are you laughing
Give me
about
5.
it? Okay, I didn't.
one more.
Huh?
Just one more.
One more.
One more.
Anto, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I gotta think about it, but
Gotcha.
you know.
I'll circle back with you.
Circle
the-
back, yes.
What about
The-
Lippi? You don't like Lippi?
There you go. There you go.
The point remains the same. When you look in the world, you see the Italian, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the German coaches. They're really the ones that are dominating around. And it's not surprising. It's not surprising, and it trickles down, especially in our league. I think that's what makes our league competitive.
Not a lot of French either, now that I think about it, right?
No, Zidane's not been around.
I can't believe that
Deschamps
Zidane
has
is
been a
not
disaster for
taking,
France.
listen,
Yeah, there's not
Zidane
really-
is really surprising me.
I know.
He's one of the most sought coach in all.
He wants
in
to
all,
pick and
all
choose.
the
I think
world.
he's just been waiting for France. I think he looked at France. He says, "This is my country."
He doesn't
I
want to
could-
tarnish his resume, his perfect resume.
It will be. I mean, I think if they got Zidane too, it will be a wrap.
You think that he's waiting for the champ to be sacked and then it will be coaching
I think he's been
the
waiting.
national team?
I think he's been waiting for a
his,
while.
his coaching definitely got outdated for how many seasons he's waited.
Kind of
He's not
respect it.
updated.
Think about it. Nice life. He's like, all right, I'm going to go between Real Madrid and France.
He doesn't need to.
Why put yourself in a different
Yeah,
position? I mean,
exactly.
he definitely rejected Juventus a couple of times.
There got to be a reason.
I think he looked at the team
the
and he's like, all right, I
project.
don't want to.
The project.
I don't want to coach
Yeah.
these young kids.
Yeah.
I think he's good with champions. I think he could speak to champions, kind of like Carlo Ancelotti does.
yeah.
I think he knows which buttons to pull. I mean, look what he did with Real Madrid during those years. Did you need to Did you need to really teach a lot of those players? No, you need to give them guidance and direction. Not to take anything away from that; it's still a skill. But any other topics?
Yeah,
that's
today's beautiful day, guys. Let's keep it that way.
after
Let's
the
keep it that
result.
way,
Fair
okay?
All right.
So, and then what else?
We'll
Tomorrow.
be back on Monday.
Yeah, we will be
There's
back on
going to be
Monday.
a blizzard in New York apparently on
When?
Monday.
Monday.
That's a good
Oh,
excuse
no,
for
we
not
don't
going
know.
to
bunker.
work.
So we should stay here for now so we
That's
don't get
right,
snowed
Mike.
in.
Mike, I can sleep over here on the top of this thing
Absolutely.
here.
All right, fair enough. All right, guys, thank you
Marco
for
Cole bids
watching.
on that.
We'll
Oh,
talk to
yeah?
you soon.
Oh,
Ciao,
ciao.
ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.